Greetings. It's Friday, November the 21st, in the infamous year of 2025. I'm Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is a special report on the subversive activity going on in Washington, or is it? Sedition 2025. Okay. The story that's going around right now, the firestorm, is how several members of Congress, 6, 2 senators, 4 congressmen, went out and did a video, and we'll go into that in a second, that angered the President of the United States to the point where he thinks they should be arrested, tried, and hung for sedition, treason. Whoa! That's serious. Well, let's go into this now. First off, a lot of people didn't watch the video. I did. And I think what it does is it cuts to the heart of a lot of problems this country has, and not political problems, moral problems. First off, a lot of people have been saying that Trump had no right to put military troops, National Guard troops in American cities. That is absolutely not true. If those were illegal orders, as it's been pointed out by others, everybody in the chain of command, from him all the way down, would say it's an illegal order and they wouldn't carry it out. They're legal orders. The president does have the power to federalize the National Guard and send it to where he thinks he needs to send it. And given the crime levels in a lot of American cities, well, I think he's holding back. I would take the National Guard, send them down to southeast in D.C., which is a real sewer, and rip the place up. Take all the gang members and haul them away and deal with them, well, ruthlessly. But that's just me. I think Trump's a bit of a softie, frankly. We'll see how much of a softie he is over this, because if his allegations are true, it's like nothing we'd seen since the American Civil War, should I say Civil War 1.0. The people in Congress, the liberals, the Democratic Party specifically, let's put the name on the face, they do want to see this country ripped apart. They have succeeded in a very clever, roundabout way of pushing this country closer and closer to disaster. Now, let me go into a couple of these people here. First off, the 2 senators. Let's stick with them. Senators have an awful lot of power. They used to be elected by the state legislatures back in the day. We changed that with a constitutional amendment in the early 20th century, which was a bad idea. Do you think you would have seen Hillary Clinton elected senator from New York? No way in hell would that have happened. Or a lot of other people, including Robert Kennedy, but that's another matter for another time. We have 2 senators here. Senator Mark Kelly, former astronaut. I have a soft spot in my heart for astronauts, and his wife, Ms. Gibbard, remember her? She was shot in the head, the representative. And he's had a bit of a tough ride. He is a naval officer. We'll get back to that in a second. The other senator is a former CIA operative. Oh, really? Michigan elected someone who used to lie for a living. With all due respect, I have the greatest respect for people in the intelligence world. They are the first line of defense of a country, but by definition, they're supposed to be deceptive, scheming, cunning, and less than truthful. We already have enough of that in Congress. Now, if you wanted to make her a national security advisor, that would make some sense. She's the one who's spending a lot of time in the media, by the way. And if anyone knows anything about manipulation, it's people that used to be at that very secretive building in Langley, Virginia. Now, I saw the video in question, making sure that American soldiers do not obey illegal orders, but they weren't specific. They didn't say, don't obey the president because he's sending people to American cities. No, he didn't say that at all. But it's kind of obvious what they're trying to do. It's as manipulative as it gets, and it's as underhanded as it gets. It's kind of like walking up to someone on the street and pushing them, saying, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. And the person said, just leave me alone. Don't hit me. And then they finally belt you. Oh, hit me. That's sort of what they're doing. They're basically trying to goad behavior among the lower ranks in the U.S. military. All they need is a few people who are going to refuse these orders. Now, everyone who has at least a high double-digit IQ probably knows that. Trump saw right through it. But is it provable of sedition? Well, that would be up to a jury. And there is a litmus test here that you can do. Mark Warner, former naval officer, retired from the U.S. Navy, retired from NASA as an astronaut, spent a couple of times up in the shuttle. Good on him for that. May the gods damn him for other things, but when you're retired and collecting the pension and all those benefits and everything, you can be recalled to duty. Not if you've just done a few years, and this has been pointed out by other people in online commentary. He's a retiree. He can be recalled to duty. He can get an order from the president to put on a uniform, march down to the Pentagon, be arrested, and then court-martialed. If Trump is serious, he will do that. If he's full of bluster, he won't. Getting others to build cases, that would be very hard to do. But Mr. Warner, not a veteran, a retiree, very different. That will be interesting. Now, of course, if he's found guilty of sedition in a U.S. military court, he's heading off to Leavenworth and possibly the scaffold. That would be interesting. Now, I talked about American character. And we were a country that was supposed to be populated by men and women of good character who were virtuous and educated. And we aren't that anymore. And the people who really aren't that are the ones in Congress. All these 6 members of Congress here, including the 2 senators I just talked about, well, I'd love to see what their net worth was before they entered Capitol Hill and what it is now. I'll bet you they've all become fairly wealthy, at least on their way to it. I wonder why. But you see, Americans don't think in terms of right or wrong anymore, or good or bad. They think of what can I get away with? And when I saw that video, which was obviously there to goad the president and to incite sedition among the lower ranks of the U.S. military, that's what came to mind. They know what they're doing. Everybody knows what that was about. Maybe not technically, but we all know what's going on there. They didn't think of, is it a good idea or a bad idea to do this? They asked if they could get away with it. Criminals think the same way. They see a target over there of something they could rob. I wonder if I can get away with it. A business executive at a major company selling food or selling pharmaceuticals, boy, those guys, they think that way. What can they get away with? They don't ask if it's right or wrong, moral or immoral. What can they get away with? Call legal. See if we can do this. That's how much of a moral compass is now missing from the leadership of this country. The political leadership, the academic leadership, and the business leadership. So, did these people commit sedition? That was if it was my opinion, that was obviously their intent. But we do not want to get to the point in this country where if we don't like what people are saying, even if it's obviously designed to cause trouble, that we just haul them off and hang them. They should be arrested, put on trial, and if found innocent or guilty, dealt with accordingly. Because once we lose that, we're done. What these members of Congress have accomplished is they have taken a very volatile political situation here and made it even worse, needlessly. Mr. Warner, Senator, I hope you get recalled to duty and are put on trial at a court-martial. I'd like to see what happens. Now, if you're found innocent, okay. But that's not the same thing. As military courtroom doesn't operate in the same way as a civilian court does. So I would say one thing we can take away from this is we have an election coming up next year, midterm, where a lot of the members of Congress are going to be up for re-election, a third of the Senate, the entire House of Representatives. And just look at the sort of people there. You have to get people who have good character. Good character. More than anything. Remember, the United States was supposed to be a country of people who are virtuous, of good character, and educated. That's another thing, education. The Department of Education is finally dead and gone, and, no one's going to be happier than me, except some people that have had to probably deal with their nonsense for the last half century. Nearly half century, actually. But it's time to not just give in to mob thinking. Not mob rule, mob thinking, because mob thinking leads to mob rule. These members of Congress did a great disservice, not only to the country, but to the people they were sworn to serve. They need to be called to account. At the same time, President Trump is, a little hot-headed these days. I don't like a lot of what he's doing. Venezuela, that's going to go well. The, $4 billion a year additional aid to Israel over the next 20 years. Wow. $4 billion a year. More. I don't know. I think it's more than $1 trillion have been involved in that endeavor since the Israelis gained their independence, in terms of money they've gotten, in terms of all the foreign aid, quote unquote, actually protection money, paid to all the countries around there. What a mess. And this country has so many problems. It has homelessness. It has a job market that is vanishing before our eyes. AI is seeing to that. We have some of the most uneducated children on the planet, unhealthy. Our food is poisonous, our air is poisonous, our water is poisonous. People, if you are a true history student, or you want to be, and these days you people should be, look to where this country started and see where it is now. See how it got that way, especially since the early 20th century. Just look there. Find the facts for yourself. It's one thing to know something here, but it's a very different thing to know it here. The longest path in the universe is here to here. Believe me. It's going to be a hot week, but we'll see how it goes. Again, if Senator Mark Warner is recalled to duty, arrested, and court-martialed, we know things are going to go in a certain direction. If he's not, that's probably just as bad a sign, because they're going to go into another direction that I think is worse. That's it for today. If you appreciate my work, please like, subscribe, and share. Share with your friends and share with your enemies, and enemies are out there, believe me. I can be reached at feedback@aureliancolumn.com. That's feedback@aureliancolumn.com. I'm up on X. My handle there is MICCAMPEN. That's MICCAMPEN. This podcast originates at Substack. My handle there is aureliancolumn.substack.com. Until we meet again, be good, be safe, be vigilant, and remember, Clown World, the deep state, and all enemies of the people of the United States, both foreign and domestic, must be destroyed. Good day.